Marcus.
Yo, it's your boy Marcus Smith, also known as Akins, also known as the coolest guy in sports, back with another overrated or underrated. This time I have Paul Millsap on the menus. Paul Millsap, overrated or underrated. Paul Millsap, who played 38 games, averaged 14.6 points per game, 6.4 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 46.4 from the field, 34.5% from the three-point line, 69.6% from the free throw line. Is Paul Millsap overrated or underrated? Now, his numbers dropped off a lot. A lot of that had to do because of the wrist injury, and also a lot of that had to do because Paul Millsap is definitely overrated. Playing with the Atlanta Hawks, Paul Millsap was really a system player and benefit from playing with a great team when they had Jeff T, Kyle, and Al Horford, and Dennis coming off the bench. So he really benefited and played in a really great system. He doesn't really fit well with Jokic. And when people talk about the Denver Nuggets, they talk about their promising center. Of course, they talk about Gary Harris and Jamal Murray. They're exciting young guards. They're talking about Michael Porter Jr. They're talking about even Barton. And it's just like nobody's even talking about Paul Millsap. And that just goes to show you, if Paul Millsap, who was brought in as a free agent to be the go-to guy, to be that player to help them get into the playoffs, he was supposed to bring that extra edge to help the Denver Nuggets reach what they've been trying to reach for the past few seasons, which is the playoffs. And Paul Millsap just isn't that guy. The Denver Nuggets signed him to a massive contract. They thought he was, and then people get fooled about like all-star players. Oh, he's been to a couple all-star games. He's an all-star. He's a star. Paul Millsap was really never a all-star star. Paul Millsap benefited from playing with a great team with the Hawks and got seen as this star player, which he is not. And then the Denver Nuggets got fooled in free agency, signed him to a massive contract. Now they looking crazy because they're probably going to have to get rid of him after this season because he has a team option for $30 million. Nobody's gonna have Paul Millsap be on the team making $30 million, and he's the fourth option on the team. I think the two guards are better than him. We know Jokic is better than him, and Barton may be even better than Paul Millsap. So that being said, Paul Millsap is probably going to get the same treatment Carmelo Anthony got. They're probably going to have to ship him to a team that's just going to buy him out so he can get his money. Then he's going to enter free agency and pick a team next season. He can be a viable player on a championship caliber team, but he's not going to be a star on a team that's trying to make him the first or second option. That's just not his game. He's better off being a solid role player, third or fourth, maybe fifth option on a championship caliber team. And he's not getting better. He's definitely declining, which goes to show you that Paul Millsap in his career was never really elite at nothing. He does a lot of things really, really decent, really well, but he's declining because he's not really a great shooter. He's not fast. He's not athletic. He just is a really solid role player who got built up by the Atlanta Hawks and built up by some of these analysts who kept saying, Paul Millsap is so good. Paul Millsap is a star. Paul Millsap is an all-star. Cut it out, man. Paul Millsap was a role player who played in a great system that benefited from playing in the Eastern Conference. There's a whole lot of guys in the Eastern Conference right now that's going to be looked as stars, as all-star type of players because they're playing in the Eastern Conference and somebody got to go to the all-star game and somebody got to put up points. But in reality, they not that type of dude. They not that type of player. You know what? I called up Chief and asked him about Paul Millsap, and he said, you know what? That ain't it. And check this out. Let me show you how overrated Paul Millsap is. Paul Millsap last year it was three guys in the NBA that made $30 million. Stephen Curry, LeBron James, and Paul Millsap. Paul Millsap made the same amount of money as Stephen Curry and LeBron James. Paul Millsap may be one of the most overrated players in the NBA right now. That being said, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Paul Millsap is overrated or underrated? If you say underrated, you guys are just crazy. But hopefully you guys say definitely Overrated. It's your boy, Mike K. Smith. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Also, check out some of the links in the description below. I'm gone, man. Peace.